I see a time, because they're pushing us to go cashless. They're pushing the governments as a whole around not just the country, the world, and it starts, as different counties, states, different, runoffs, different branches here and there, different countries, that kind of stuff. And it's a slow implementation. I mean, it's a lot faster than I imagined it would have been, but it's still a slow implementation on the big picture, unless you step back and you actually focus and see it happening. It's happening.
They all owed me money.
Quiet, porcupine. And speaking of money, how about the $20 you owe me?
Oh, yeah? Well, I only got 10, so here's 10, I owe you 10.
Thanks.
Hey, Mo, you owe me 20.
Well, here's 10, and I'll owe you 10.
You owe me 20.
Here's 10, I owe you 10.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you.
Here's the 10 I owe you. Good, now we're all even.
They're trying to get us off of this paper, off of the cash, so it's all completely a digital society. I mean, cashless society for the most part. And then what? And then what? And then what? Well, I mean, I've been over this before. They can control it. They can allow you. I mean, you will be allowed to purchase things or not. How about be allowed to purchase things or not from a different, if you're too far away from where you're supposed to be, or if you're not falling in line, or if you're, sort of resisting in their eyes from something, you're not going along, you're not following orders, whatever the case is. You can be restricted. Or maybe they don't want you, you bought too many firearms, or you bought too much type of food, or you bought whatever because your medical bills are costing this much and government, quote unquote, has to pay for it. So now, because of that, now you're restricted. Now you're in a restricted diet, so now your purchasing is restricted of what you're going to get. Whatever the case is, I feel that absolutely is coming. And then there's going to go to the whole climate change scam, and you're not going to be able to purchase gas at certain places or go very far, or maybe charge your car if you're on an electric car, if you've fallen in that trap, and you're not going to be able to charge it because you've driven it too much, or because your carbon credit is not free, not open, not available, or it's used up for the time being, whether it's for the year or for the week, for the month, whatever it is. I mean, that's all a scenario I really see happening. But on top of that, what I see happening is I think one of the biggest things, it's all big, one of the main things I think they will use to get control and get us closer to you'll own nothing and you'll be happy, is they will say, well, okay, well, we can do your digits now, whether it's a digital dollar or it's a digital whatever, your trading mechanism, that's what you have in your digital wallet. But don't worry. You have equity in your home. You have your car paid off, or your car mostly paid off. How about you own some land? You have equity in this land that you own. Or you own these other things, and you have equity in these things. So we'll get it all, organized. We'll help you with that. We'll get it all lined up, and then you'll be able to go on to your digital wallet, and you'll say, okay, well, I have this much equity in my home, or I have this much equity in this vehicle, or I have this much equity in this land, or I have this much equity, and maybe it's these paintings, or whatever it is. And I don't have money right now, and I'm in a bind because my child needs whatever they need for an emergency, or for college, or whatever it is, or I would like this thing and I don't have the money or the funds for whatever reason. But you know what I can do? I can tap into my equity. So right now, just with a push of a button, or just a swipe here and there, I can say, well, I have $50,000 extra equity in my home, let's say, and I really wanted this vehicle. I really wanted to buy this vehicle, or I really want to buy, or get access to rent this boat, or get this boat, whatever it is. So I'll just, I'll use $30,000 of my extra $50,000 in equity that I had in my home, and I'll just swipe, boom, bam, it's done. I got the boat, and no harm, no foul. I don't have any less money. I have less equity into my home or into my land or whatever that asset was, but I don't notice it. I just go about my life. And then the next thing comes along. You do it again. Next thing comes along. You do it again. Next thing you know, 5 years down the road, maybe 10 years, 15 years down the road, you're sitting there and you have no more equity left in anything because you've basically sold it all, and then you can rent everything. Hence, you will own nothing. You're owning nothing. You don't own a single thing. You have to rent for everything then because you don't have any ownership, like I said. And you're supposed to be happy. Well, I don't think the happy thing's ever going to happen when you get to the end. When you get to the end, when you realize this. On the way, people might be having fun, having a good time, whatever, just like you're having a great time, and if you're at the bar or partying or whatever, people do that. And then when they have to come to call, when it's all over the next day, and they're hungover and they're in bed for a day or two, and they just got headaches and they don't feel good, they're paying for that fun they had the night before. Same thing's going to happen here. You're going to have all this fun, or people will have this fun purchasing all these things, doing all this stuff, going on these trips, whatever it is. And then once the realization comes and they really own nothing, they no longer own anything, they have to rent and have to ask permission and have to get somebody else's approval to do anything. They own nothing then, and they're no longer happy. They were happy on the way there, I'm sure. But now, when the realization of it hit, it's all gone. But it's going to happen. It's going to be easy. It's going to be presented as the norm. It's the thing to do. It's the way to be. Just like I feel that, and I've said this before, that nobody really owns. And I know people say it's all entertainment. It's not needed. It's not necessary. But nobody really owns DVDs or movies. They rent them all the time. Maybe you belong to a subscription. Maybe you purchase digital forms of it, but it's digital forms. It's on somebody else's hard drive. Same thing goes for digital books. Same thing goes for digital music. Same thing goes for digital anything. It's on somebody else's hard drive if you are having to go online to access it. If you're having to have a subscription to thing, to listen to music, to watch shows, to do whatever it is, it's on somebody else's hard drive. Just like you're storing all your photos on the cloud. It's not the cloud. That's stupid. It's somebody else's hard drive. You're storing all your photos, all your memories, everything that matters to you, your financial, whatever you're storing on the cloud, you're storing that on someone else's hard drive. Somebody else's hard drive, some other company's hard drive, some other, whatever hard drive. It's not yours. You don't own it. You don't have it. You don't hold it. You're not really in control of it. For the time being, you may be. But that can end in a heartbeat. That can end fast. I have nothing more to say on this. I just want to get people thinking this reality to it. They're trying to take everything that substance and real away without people knowing. They want people to volunteer it. And then they'll be left with nothing, really, owning nothing, being left with not anything, no power, no control, no say. And the ones that are at the end of this, the ones that are the ones owning the hard drives, are owning the land, are owning whatever it is, the homes that everyone else has to rent, they're the ones on top because they're the ones that can control everything. Because if you own nothing, you don't have a say in anything. But that's all I say about this. I appreciate watching, and if you like this, like, share, subscribe. As always, stay vigilant, protect yourself, protect your family, care to help, protect your wealth.